Hello, everybody watching on YouTube land. If you're watching this on Twitch, please say hi to YouTube. We're back for another Game News Roundup, the second one this week. It is currently February 1st, 2023. We got some VGChartz, sales comparison articles. We're working on some stuff for some changes still before we start uploading before we do the January estimates. We're making changes, which Coder's run into some issues that he's figuring out, which of course something always breaks, or there's some old code and things and issues. And anyways, sales comparison. This is for December 2022, PS5 versus the Series X and S in the United States specifically. The PS5 has greatly grown its lead over the holiday period compared to the Series X and S. Again, this is in the US. As you can see, for the longest time, the sales were, for a while, they're pretty relative. The PS5 lead, going up and down a bit, but then last few months, last holiday quarter, October, November, December, the lead has grown to 2.26 million units estimated based on our available data that we have. On last month, the PS5 grew its lead by 400,000 units. In the last 12 months, it has grown its lead by 1.19 million units. We've got just 11.96 million units estimated sales for the PS5 in the US versus 9.71 million for the Series X and S in the US. And the two consoles have been available for 26 months. And now, generation over generation in the US, PS5 versus the PS4 in the US is behind. The PS5 is behind the PS4 by about 570,000 units. Well, the Series X and S is behind the Xbox One by 740,000 units. Now, this is specifically U.S. sales, and we know that the both have been tracking behind their predecessors. I almost said successors. The predecessors, the PS4 and Xbox One. But we do know Microsoft CEO has stated on multiple occasions that the Series X and S has been tracking ahead of the Xbox One. 360, original Xbox, basically saying is the fastest selling Xbox generation to date, and they've said that they have a few times since the launch of the console. So speaking of comparing the Series X and S to its predecessor, the Xbox One, the Series X and S is still ahead of the Xbox One launch line after 26 months, but the gap has shrunk in the last couple of months. To compare, Series X and S had no big exclusives during the holidays, which definitely hurt its sales for sure. While equivalent months for the Xbox One include the launch of Halo 5. So yeah, after 26 months, the Series X and S is 1.1 million units ahead. And in December, the Xbox One did outsell the Series X and S by an estimated 663,000 units. But over the last 12 months, the Series X and S actually did grow its lead by 780,000 units. So last year, the Series X and S kept growing its lead over the Xbox One equivalent months, and then holidays hit, and the Xbox One sold more in November and December in the last couple of months. And these are worldwide estimates, by the way. Series X and S, we currently have at 20.36 million units sold as of December 2022 versus 19.23 million for the Xbox One. So again, a little over a million difference between the two. Now, to note, this, with our estimates, this was the best year we had for the Xbox One. After this, sales declined a little bit for 3 or 4 years, and then it started to decline much. So the Xbox One already had its peak year, and I see the Series X and S. I mean, we'll see, we'll find out, but I'm looking like 2023 should be up compared to last year with the Series X and S, with Starfield coming out, Redfall, Hi-Fi Rush, which just came out, Shadow Drop launch, Minecraft Legends, that's multi-platform. I'm not really sure if you count that. Forza Motorsport. I think rumored that Hellblade 2 will come out this year. Potentially, although I'm not sure how much systems that will sell. But yeah, Starfield is the big release. That'll judge to see how much sales improve for the Series X and S when that game comes out. So yeah. Series X and S, according to our estimates, is currently the fastest selling Xbox generation to date. I haven't posted the Series X and S versus the 360, but it is also ahead of the 360. So, moving on, some other sales figures. Sony and developer Santa Monica Studio announced God of War Ragnarok has sold over 11 million units worldwide. They announced this today. and is up from 5.1 million units sold in its launch week in November 2022. Sony Santa Monica, the developer, are incredibly humbled that God of War Ragnarok has officially sold through 11 million copies. None of this would have been possible without the support of our fans. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. And the official PlayStation Twitter account added in a quote tweet, congrats to Santa Monica Studio for God of War Ragnarok continuing to be PlayStation Studio's fastest selling title ever. And God of War Ragnarok launched for the PS5 and PS4 on November 9th, 2022. So 11 million units sold, fastest selling first-party game so far from first-party PlayStation Studio. Some more sales stuff. Techland, developer of the Dying Light series, has announced that the Dying Light franchise has now sold over 30 million units between, I guess, Dying Light 1 and Dying Light 2. There's really not much more to say, but the Dying Light series, top 30 million units sold to date. And Capcom has updated its list of platinum titles, which is for all of its games that have sold over 1 million units. So Monster Hunter World, number 1, Monster Hunter Rise, number 2, and then Resident Evil, Monster Hunter are the best-selling franchises for Capcom. So Monster Hunter Rise sold an additional 500,000 units in the previous quarter, the quarter ending December 31st, to bring lifetime sales to 11.7 million units. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak also sold 500,000 units, which is now at nearly 5 million units sold. Monster Hunter World sold 100,000 units in the quarter, and has now sold 18.6 million units lifetime. And the Iceborne expansion sold 300,000 units, and has surpassed 10 million units sold lifetime. Resident Evil 7, 11.7 million units. Resident Evil 2, 11.2 million. Resident Evil Village, 7.4 million. Resident Evil 3, 6.4 million. Should add, Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3's are the remakes. So yeah, Monster Hunter World, 18.6. Monster Hunter Rise, 11.7 million. And tied, actually, Resident Evil 7, 11.7 million. Resident Evil 2 Remake, 11.2 million. But I believe Resident Evil 2 has been selling more each quarter than Resident Evil 7. So that gap is shrinking, and maybe the remake of Resident Evil 2 will top Resident Evil 7. And maybe Monster Hunter Rise as well. Who knows? We'll see. So yeah, they have 110 games by Capcom has sold over 1 million units lifetime. That'll be about it for the sales. If anyone wants to take a better look at this, if you're watching this on YouTube, link below in the description. I will post the link there if you want to take a look at all of their best-selling games. Or if you want to just go on our website, go to our game database. If there's any official sales figures, shipment figures from publishers, developers, and whatnot, we will have it on here. So, total shipped here. When you see SER, that's series, that's entire franchise sales. Tetris number 1, Pokemon, Call of Duty. Again, this is based on available data. Official data. So, we also have Microsoft is increasing the price of the Xbox Series X and S in Japan on February 17th by 5,000 yen. The Series X price is increasing from basically 55,000 yen to 60,000 yen, while the Series S is increasing from 32,000 to 37,000 yen. Now, I believe when I looked at the yen to USD, that is still cheaper than it is in the US price-wise. Also, this is the only place we've seen of this Microsoft increasing the price of the Series X and S so far. Maybe they'll increase the price at other places. I don't know. Sony last year did increase the price of the PS5 pretty much everywhere except in the United States. It went up like $20, $30, $40 equivalent. So yeah, statement from Microsoft sent to Gamatsu. After carefully evaluating the market condition in Japan, we've decided to change the suggested retail price of Xbox consoles in the country. We regularly evaluate the impact of local pricing to maintain reasonable consistency across regions. This price revision affects our customers and was a difficult decision to make, but going forward, we will continue to provide the ultimate Xbox experience that our customers expect. It's the usual, Microsoft spokesperson, the usual yada yada stuff. But yeah, price Series X and S has gone up in Japan only so far. We haven't heard anything about any price increases anywhere else. So we'll see how things go. And again, as I mentioned, even with the price increases, it's still cheaper when you go from yen to USD. It's still cheaper than it is in the US by a little bit. I think someone actually mentioned it in the comments. Maybe. Yeah, someone mentioned the Series X is now $460 in Japan, so it's still $40 cheaper than it is in the US. I mean, one reason maybe for the price increase is for less people to be buying, say, a Series X or S in Japan because it's cheaper than where they are than importing it. Might be one of the reasons. I mean, generally speaking, I'm against price increases, obviously, as a consumer, And Microsoft did announce they are increasing the price of their first-party games come out in 2023 from $60 to $70 to match what Sony does with the PS5 games, as well as a bunch of other publishers have increased the price of their games to $70 at launch. Nintendo games are still $60, but who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo releases its next console that the games that they release will be $70 instead of $60. But who knows? That's just my guess. We'll find out. Who knows? In 2 years, it got me. We don't know when Nintendo's releasing their next console, so. Anyways, more gaming news. Sony has announced the PlayStation Plus monthly games for February 2023, which will be available from Tuesday, February 7th to Monday, March 6th. It includes Evil Dead the Game for PS5 and PS4, Ollie Ollie World for PS5 and PS4, Destiny 2 Beyond Light expansion for PS5 and PS4, as well as Mafia the Definitive Edition for the PS4. And the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium game catalog lineup will be announced soon. So, 4 games coming to PlayStation Plus. And if anyone owns a PS5 and you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, the PlayStation Plus collection, which includes 20 PS4 games for free, is being removed on May 9th. If you have redeemed the titles, you can keep playing them after this date as long as you remain a PlayStation Plus subscriber. So if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, own a PS5, and have not redeemed these games or any of them, you still haven't redeemed, a couple of them or whatever, go do so now, redeem them, and then you'll still be able to play them after May 9th. But it is going away on May 9th, the PlayStation Plus collection. It is PlayStation Plus subscribers on PS5 was they offered 20 free PS4 games, which I think was 10 first-party games and 10 third-party games, including God of War, Fallout 4, Uncharted 4, Ratchet & Clank, Days Gone, Last Guardian, Last of Us, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 7, etc., etc. You can see some of them here in this picture. So, and the games with gold. I don't even know why Microsoft bothers at this point. Man, the games are just getting worse and worse each month. They're free, mind you, if you are an Xbox Live Gold subscriber. They are free. But compared to what we saw with PlayStation, this is getting pretty sad. 2 games, 2 Xbox One games will be free to download next month. For the King, a $25 game available from February 1st, today, to the 28th. And Guts and Goals, a $15 game available from February 16th to March 15th. Clearly, Microsoft is kind of paying a lot less attention to games with gold. And more focused on Xbox Game Pass at this point, for sure. So yeah, if you're an Xbox Live Gold member, feel free. You can redeem For the King now and Guts and Goals on February 16th. So yeah. A few more things. Bethesda and developer Arcane Studio Austin published a new FAQ, which has revealed that Redfall require a persistent online connection, even if you're playing alone, solo, single player wise. And obviously, it's required for co-op, but that's kind of a given. It should be noted that while a persistent online connection is required, Xbox Live Gold will not be required if you're playing by yourself. But if you're playing on co-op, you will need Xbox Live Gold. Basically, Xbox Live Gold is you pay for it to play games online. And if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it does include Game Pass for the Xbox PC, as well as Xbox Live Gold. I feel like Microsoft is definitely focusing more on Xbox Game Pass than they are Gold at this point, but Xbox Live Gold is required to play games on the Xbox Online. Unless it's a free-to-play game, then you don't need Gold. But if it's a non-free-to-play game, it does require you to own Xbox Live Gold to play it on the Xbox. On PC, not required. Yeah, and was announced last week, Redfall comes out for the Series X and S PC and Game Pass on May 2nd. So the specific thing here, yeah, will playing Redfall require an online connection for single player as well as co-op? Yes, it is. Will require a Bethesda.net account? Oh, of course it is. It's Bethesda. Will playing Redfall require account linking to your Steam Xbox user ID? And the answer is yes. And will be available on Game Pass. Yes, it will be. Standard Edition will be available on day one. The Deluxe Edition or whatever will be available separately. Although I'm not sure if Redfall is one of the games, but I know some games that are on Game Pass, there's like, you can pay a little bit of money to get access to the deluxe content. So you don't have to actually go out and spend the, $60, $70, $80, whatever it is for the deluxe, edition. You can just spend the $20 for the price difference between the standard and a deluxe edition to get the content, which I think is a good thing. So it gets people who own Game Pass to spend a little bit of money, a little bit more money instead of just playing the standard edition. Because if you have Game Pass, why would you spend the full money to get the deluxe edition? But no. Anyways, a couple more things from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. In a new report, EA has reportedly canceled a single-player game that was set in the universe of Apex Legends and Titanfall, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. The game was in development at Respawn Entertainment and had a codename of Titanfall Legends. The game has not been officially announced. However, EA has hinted at a single-player Titanfall game for a few times. And the game was originally directed by veteran designer Mohammed Alavi? I'm sure that's completely wrong. I do apologize. As I say, I'm bad at pronouncing names. He also ended up leaving the company in early 2022. There was a team of about 50 people working on the game. And EA, according to the sources, we're trying to find other positions for the people who are working on this team. However, if anyone who's not able to find a new position at EA will get a severance package and be laid off. And this follows EA having a fairly disappointing outlook for its current quarter, which ends March 31st, 2023. They are announced ending service on Apex Legends Mobile on May 1st, canceling the mobile version of Battlefield, and are closing down the developer of the mobile version of Battlefield, Industrial Toys, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor was also delayed from March 17th to April 28th. Again, this stuff should always be treated as a rumor until an official announcement is made. Although with this being an unannounced game, I don't know if we'll even hear anything. But generally speaking, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, he's generally more reliable on the stuff he reports on. One other thing, rumor, but also from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, so a little bit more trustworthy than maybe some other places that would report on something like this. But 343 Industries, the developer of the Halo franchise, looks like they're doing a big refresh. Following the mass layoffs and an overhaul of leadership at 343, basically the studio is all but starting from scratch. The report from Jason Schreier claims at least 95 people were laid off at 343 Industries. By far, hit the hardest out of all the first-party Xbox studios. From the little bit we have seen, there haven't been many layoffs at other studios. It has been in the single digits. I mean, obviously, anyone laid off, even if it's one person, is not... It's never a good thing, no matter how big or little the amount of layoffs are. So the bigger, the worse it is, but it's never good. The amount of layoffs includes dozens of veterans, as well as including top directors and contractors were only given a few days' notice before their contract ended. Also, in the report, the Halo franchise has been using the Slipspace engine that has a large amount of old code from the 1990s and early 2000s. And with a new lead, with Pierre Hintz taking over as the lead at 343 Industries, the studio has decided to shift away from Slipspace to Unreal Engine for future Halo projects, according to this report. There's no official word yet. The switch to Unreal Engine, according to the report, will start with a new game codenamed Tatanka. The game is being developed alongside Certain Affinity, so between 343 and Certain Affinity working together. It started off as a battle royale game, but the report says it might evolve into something different. Other future games in the Halo franchise also might explore using the Unreal Engine. This, in theory, will make development easier versus using Slipspace engine, because most people know how to use Unreal Engine. It's like I think it's like the most common engine in game development. That maybe Unity, or the big two. And according to the report, some people internally are worried that the shift to Unreal Engine may have a negative impact on the way Halo games feel to play. So, we'll see. That's the thing, going to Unreal Engine. Can you get the physics right? Can you have it where it still feels like Halo? But obviously, it'll be easy to develop for. So, as long as you can make it still feel like Halo, I think it's probably the right call because most people know how to use Unreal Engine versus Slip Space being only used for Halo. So if you bring on contractors, you bring in new people, it takes them a long time to get used to how to use the Slip Space engine and how to work it. Versus Unreal Engine, where most people should be able to figure it out much quicker. So, yeah. Also, the sources claim 343 Industries they were not working on any new content for the story in Halo Infinite. Developers were focused on making prototypes in Unreal Engine and pitching ideas for new Halo games rather than working on new content for the Halo Infinite campaign. Again, this is a report. I always like to say treat it as more as a rumor than anything with report until there is an official announcement made, whether it's confirming that the report is real or saying, no, this is not real at all, and proving that it is not true. But Jason Schreier is someone you can trust a lot more who gets insider information. So, but yeah, that is going to do it for today's Game News Roundup. If you're watching this on YouTube, always hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. And leave a comment. I've been trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, and it's been slowly getting there, but maybe one of these days, the YouTube algorithm will be like, hey, people watching your videos. We'll make it out there. More people will see it. Who knows? Maybe, who knows? But I do this because I enjoy it. I want to give you guys as much information as I can. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. See you all next time.